Hey, glorious souls. Welcome to your Soul Service Astrology update for the week of the 9th of January 2023. Hello, I am Kelx. I'm a 13-sign Sidereal astrologer. What does that mean? That means the astrology you're going to hear on this very beautiful channel matches what you can observe in the sky, aka it matches astronomy. And I think that's really important because if we're going to come back into a much more cyclic connection with ourselves, observe the planet, aka look after the planet, tend to the planet, we need to be looking at things as they are now, not how things were 2020 years ago. So the theme for the incoming week is fire and earth. That's the theme I'm giving you. It's a bit of a refresh and review, particularly for our visions and our vitality. And there's a few reasons for that. So if you want to hang around for the little summary, then please do. That's what I'm about to launch into now. And then I will look at all the aspects in full detail. So there's a lot of fire and earth energy this week. And in particular, it revolves around our vision and our mission. Now, some of the energy is ease and flow, but because all the trine aspects that are coming in this week are aspecting a retrograding planet, it's not necessarily that things are going to get going. It's more that maybe you'll feel the breath of fresh air through the review that you've been doing in relation to your vision. And then perhaps you have reset your focus and your energy and vitality, and it seems a bit more stable to you, a little bit more consistent, and you'll be able to maintain it for longer. Now, Venus and Mercury are involved in a lot of the aspects that this week. The archetypal energy of Mercury is really in relation to our mind, thinking, information, logic, analytical intelligence. Now, it's retrograde, so we really should be trying to have a rest at the moment. We're still in that sort of holiday nebulous period where you could be doing a little bit less. And then we also have Venus in there, and Venus is now in Capricorn. So there's this little bit of energy while the mind is having a bit of a reset and a rest. Venus is sort of asking you to do perhaps some of the mundane, routine, methodical things that Capricorn would like you to do in relation to your goals, your career, your business, and your wisdom. Now, with Venus in play, it suggests, and in particular, Venus is trine Mars this week, it suggests that it's time to embrace your finances. It's time to look at them. Now, I know that that can be scary, because sometimes we don't want to look at them with a critical eye. And that's what Venus in Capricorn is really asking you to do. Now, from lived experience, I know that if you don't have financial security in our day and age, you're probably going to feel your nervous system is affected. And it's going to be affected by the fact that you're probably going to be in survival mode. So if you're feeling like you don't have any financial stability, financial grounding that you can start to move forward on into the new year, I would really encourage you this week. There's a couple of things that you can do. There's an opportunity for you to look at your budget. There's an opportunity to look at your incomings and outgoings. Now, if you are going to do a budget, if you don't have one, you need to look at your incomings and outgoings. And then you need to have a really vulnerable, deep dive look as to whether the amount of income coming into your ecosystem, whatever that comprises, is sufficient. Because, of course, it's a very Saturn, very Capricorn thing. Your spending can't be more than the money coming in, because that's what will then plunge your nervous system into a mode where you're at fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. You'll be fighting to get money. You'll be frozen. You won't know what to do. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an accountant. I've just had to do this, been through it myself. I would encourage you, if you don't know where to start and you know this is something that you need to look at, go and seek some assistance. An accountant can help. Maybe not necessarily a financial advisor unless you really, really trust them and you already know them. Now, if you are really in financial stress, in Australia, we have a financial counselling service that you can call the phone number on and speak to a counsellor for free, and they will help you get on top of your finances. So that's really the energy of this week. The earth is looking after our mundane money magic. And the fire is, it's perhaps letting go of some things that you've been holding onto and taking that really hard look at your mundane money magic to enable you to set your nervous system free so that you can start to engage in opportunities that you wanted to. That's been extremely difficult for me to talk about because I'm not a big fan of talking about money. However, in our day and age, in our culture and society, it unfortunately is something that is very real. And it's the one thing I found that can throw even really considered smart people, perceived as smart people, they can really rattle their nervous system and hold them back if your financial matters are not on solid ground. So that's the energy for this week, and that's the synopsis. If that's what you're going to listen to, check out your budget. And if you would really like to come back into a deeper connection to your cyclic nature, which is, this is all part of our cyclic nature, understanding that we're in a system, but also understanding that we're in an ecosystem and an environment, I would really encourage you to do two things. One is pre-purchase my planner, which will help you do the mundane magic things, all the while connected with our seasons, our moon and the stars, the planets and the stars. So you get the mundane and the magic combined into a planner, and that planner doesn't start until the autumn equinox or the spring equinox, depending on where you are, because I feel like that's where the sun is either at continuing to decrease in the southern hemisphere, or it's continuing to increase in the northern hemisphere. So it's traditionally the starting point for astrologers on our birth charts, and so that's why I'm also looking at it as well. So it's a solar phenomenon, and that's why I want to look at it. So you can go and purchase that at kellygunter.com. And if you want to use the planner, and if you want to keep coming back into your cyclical nature and you want a community to do it in, then come and join Eco Alchemy. And that information is on my website too. Right, enough chatting. I will show you my chart and I will go into the detail for every day for those people that want it. Now, let's see. I haven't done this for 2 weeks. Can I remember how to do it? You can all have a giggle at me and Kel's amazing technological skills. Woohoo, we're up. We're up. Excellent. Okay, Monday the 9th. We have Uranus trine Mercury. So Mercury's going backwards. So Mercury's in review. Mercury is sort of exploring and being curious, not really doing too much analytical and logical. Maybe it's just absorbing a lot of information. From my experience, I'm starting to get the nuts and bolts of my book together, but I'm having to explore sort of different avenues where my first chapter is going, which will really set the scene for the rest of the chapters that are going to be in my book. So I'm kind of exploring and playing, and I'm also exploring and playing with how I want to write, how I want the book to come together. So you might be exploring and playing with your written word. You might be exploring and playing with the information that you're currently seeking at the moment, and that's perfect. Now, there's this ease and flow energy towards Uranus, and both these planets are actually retrograde. I forgot Uranus is still retrograde. So this is likely to feed into your vision, your why. Now, regardless of whether you have a business, now I have a business and it has a very clear why, your life can also have a why. Now, for me, my business and my life why are the same. They're the same. So if you are a worker that is for life, then your why will be the same. But you can have a why that's separate from your career. And at the moment, they're both kind of under review. And it might be, okay, what information do I need to feed into my vision to start to get the ball rolling, to start to take action when I feel called to take action? We may not necessarily be taking action at the moment. It's really, we're looking at our vision. Does it fit? What information do I need? How do I work the best? Like, that's what I've been feeling into and realizing this past 12 months. I work in quite not a linear way. And I've started to get comfortable with that. So I would encourage you to explore that. There's an opportunity for you to explore that this week. And it's nice energy, right? The thing is to not push yourself if you can. And if you are feeling like you need to push yourself, then my question for you is, what can I release? What can I let go of after the full moon last week so that I don't feel pushed and stressed? So Tuesday the 10th, we have Mars trine Venus. So this is the real Earth aspect, one of the real Earth aspects that come in. Monday's aspect is very fiery. So Mars is in Taurus. Mars is tending to our vitality, our energy, getting it consistent, sustainable. What does it need to be consistent, vital, and sustainable? So we're looking at our needs. Venus in Capricorn, Venus, our body, our abundance, our regenerative ability, our ability to connect with ourselves and then connect with others is in Capricorn. How am I leading myself towards my desires? Now, Mars, you could also say, is really about our desires. So these two in trine are really well favored for you to look at your finances. And that's the mundane money magic that I'm asking you to step into. And if you need support, go and find it. I would suggest an accountant. And if you can't afford an accountant in Australia, I know that there are financial counsellors that are free. You can call them. And they're also, you can go and see them. They're also all over the country so that you can seek some assistance that way. I know it's sometimes a scary thing to look at, but if you are in financial stress, it's very hard to move towards a vision, a mission, and goals associated with that if you're in financial stress. And then on the 11th of January, Wednesday the 11th, Chiron is square Mercury. So here is our vulnerability. Our vulnerability is opening us up to explore information that we might need, that we might be scared to look at. There might be, I need to look at this information. I need to look at an aspect of my mind, perhaps, that needs to be liberated, that needs to be set free for me to move beyond my limits. So this is really the nervous system work that I've spoken about previously, and this is tied. So if finances are causing stress, it's going to be stressing your nervous system. So that's why sometimes we have to sit down and we have to do the yucky things, look at our finances. Maybe there's some stories that we're telling ourselves, that's Mercury, that are leading us to feel really vulnerable and holding us back from stepping into our goals, our dreams, our visions, our missions. So there's an opportunity there to get raw and vulnerable with yourself. And that's the first step to you getting closer and closer to falling madly and deeply in love with yourself. And maybe you're having to come back around and fall madly, deeply in love with yourself. And that is okay too, because healing is not linear. And sometimes we're meant to learn some things multiple times, and we're always looking at it from a different level on our spiral upwards. So don't think of it as doing it again. Think of it, oh, this is a new level. And then we move to the 12th and Mars starts to go direct. Okay, so I mentioned that we're trying to get our focus and our energy really strong. Mars is strong, stable, consistent in Taurus. It's around our needs, making sure what are the needs I need to feel sustainable in the longer term, to start to bring my desires for the particular lifestyle that I wish to lead into reality. So if you've looked at that over the last, I think it's been 2 months with Mars retrograde in Taurus, now we're starting to implement. Step 1, budget. Okay, really boring. Maybe you find it exciting, but I would really recommend doing your mundane money magic seeking support where you need it. Also really examining your other needs. What needs are valuable to you? What needs do you need to make sure that all your physiological needs are met and your security needs are met? Because only then can we start to move into self-esteem, and only then can we start to really madly, deeply love ourselves and become our best friends. And we're not going to be telling ourselves horrible things. So it means we get to start taking small steps at a time towards our desires and making sure that our nervous system and our emotional intelligence and our body is looked after. The 13th, there's nothing additional happening on 13th, but I wanted to look at Friday, the 14th. Chiron is square. No, it's the North Node is square Venus, and the North Node and Uranus is square Venus. Now, what have I written here? Oh, no, Chiron. Chiron is square Mercury, which is, I've done that. And the North Node I've done that. I've written down something wrong. I'm going to cross it out. So we've got the North Node square Venus. So the North Node is our vision, our mission. So it's a bit of it's a bigger picture of our vision. What mission are we working towards? And in Aries, where is it focused for you? What energy and reserves do you need to start to bring this mission to life? Square Venus, it's likely that Venus in Capricorn is going to bring up questions in attention towards these are the things that you're going to need to do to achieve to bring your mission to life. So Aries can sometimes be, I'm going to charge in and just do this thing. Venus in Capricorn is probably going to be a little bit more methodical. These are the things I need. These are the goals I need to achieve. This is the methodology I need to follow. And this is the wisdom and expertness I have. So again, tough inner questions. Can I look at my mission? Am I in a position to bring that mission to life, or am I part of someone else's mission, which might be that, to go and be involved in? So again, some questions in there in relation to needs, values, resources, wisdom, goals, your mastery. Do you have all those things? So you can feel this week there's that fire in the earth, but it's kind of like there's still this rejuvenation and review. There's this refreshing, but there's also still this review happening this week that we get to do. Not really charging forward just yet. Small, consistent steps are going to get you where you want to be. We have to kind of ignore sometimes the capitalist rhetoric, which says, whoever is the fastest is the most successful. Whoever accumulates the most wealth is the most successful. That is not true. Everyone's success is going to look different to them. And that's up to you, what your success, what your mission is, and what success looks like for you and your life. It's not just about our jobs or career, which is what capitalism might have us want to talk about, but it's what does your successful life look like? So there's a great question to ask yourself this week. And then on the 15th, we have Uranus square Venus, which is what I just spoke about. I've written down something wrong this week. That's totally fine. Oh, it's the North Node trine Mercury. Let's talk about that. North Node trine Mercury. Yes, that's the one we want. So North Node trine Mercury is suggesting that the review period that you're doing, that you're examining what you need to bring your mission to life, and are you in the best position to do it? Mercury is doing a review. Being curious, what information do I need? Where do I need to expand? What mental stories do I need to drop to go beyond my limits to start to fulfill this mission? And this is really nice, easy energy. So perhaps the information will come to you not necessarily through logic or being analytical. It might come to you through celebration. It might come through fun, being excited, switching off, allowing your intuition to come in. So that's the flavor of the week. It's really a beautiful week to take grounded action, get fired up about the things that matter most to you, but make sure that your energy, your vitality, your resources and needs are grounded, and that you're exploring the mundane magic that can also support those much more existential things that you're attempting to bring into your reality. So that's it for this week. If you've got any comments or questions, please pop them below. And as I mentioned earlier, please go and pre-purchase the Soul Surface Astrology 2023 planner. It starts in March. It's all about helping you return to being a cyclic being, connected to the seasons, the moons, and the moon and the stars. Now, if you would like to go into that deeply in community so that you can fall madly, deeply loving yourself, become your own best friend, tend to the earth where you live, and you want to do that in community, then check out Eco Alchemy as well. That's my paid membership community where we come together at least twice a month. However, there'll be additional things added once March starts up. You can sign up to that for now for the price of $55 a month if the price is going to go up in March. So that's it from me this week. Have a glorious week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.